welcome back to 10 out of 10 with Watch Again with Lauren and us.
Hello.
So this will be a wee bit of a longer introduction, so just have a seat, sit down, you're fine. Everything's fine. Shut up. So first off, we just want to say thank you so much for all the love on the Independence Day episode with our wee Vanessa. We had such a ball doing that, and I was absolutely cracked up at all the comments that were like, why are 3 of the most Scottish people I've ever heard in my life talking about American patriotism? I was like, no, fair enough, Trips, fair enough. So at the end of that episode, we said we were going to do something fun and campy and mind-numbing, and then Scotland got papped out the World Cup, so we went, fuck that, and B, Russell Brand was in our original choice, and we went, ooh, maybe not.
Yeah, there was a few problematic people in it.
Yeah, there was a few questionables in it. We were like, nah, maybe not. So we figured with Scotland being papped out the World Cup, and I'm not going to blame Stevie Clark, I'm going to blame Gerard Butler, but we're going to get to that in 2 seconds. But with Scotland being papped out the World Cup, we thought, why not pick the other Scottish movie that doesn't have quite the same sentiment that Braveheart does?
Yeah.
It's got half the same cast, but do you know what I mean? But it's got the complete different sentiment with a complete different iconic speech. So we're about to do 1996's Trainspotting.
Yep.
Ross, hit us with your pish before I start on the Gerard Butler slander.
Right, so as you say, it was released in February 1996, directed by Danny Boyle, starring Ewan McGregor, Ewan Bremner, Johnny Lee Miller, Kevin McKidd, Robert Carlyle, Kelly MacDonald, and Big Peter Mullen.
Ay.
And fucking everybody else.
Yeah, everybody else who was in Braveheart or Still Game.
A budget of £1.5 million, a box office of £48 million, and a runtime of 93 minutes. A short boy.
Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. I thought it would have made more than 48 million.
No, well, that's like 40 times its budget. That's still pretty good.
No, that's fair. General overview of the movie, heroin. Just heroin.
Pretty much, aye.
So, before we dive into thoughts and opinions, let's just talk about Scotland and the World Cup. Now, in this household, we were fully swept up in Tartan Army fever. We got the flags, we got the shirts, we were living our best lives, right? Like, I've never been so hopeful as a Scottish person ever, right? When we won the first game, things were looking up. It was great being Scottish. The Braveheart theme tune was on the go, right? Everything was fabulous. Second game, Morocco scored 70 seconds in. We were like, ooh. And the twangs of the Trainspotting speech were in the background, but we were like, no, it's fine. We've just got to beat Brazil. And like, as a nation, I really fuck with our confidence. Do you know what I mean? That we were like, yeah, fuck it. Brazil's getting pumped 12-0. Do you know what I mean? And listen, we all know that's not how it went. And we all know that Scotland's dreams were squashed pretty quickly in the World Cup. But I'm not going to say that's Stevie Clark's fault. I'm looking at Jerry B. Fucking Gerard Butler, right? So Brazil were 1-0 up. And we were still like, no, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Aye, we'll take a draw. Or we just hope that Haiti get beat to fuck. Like, do you know what I mean? I can't even remember what the other team was we needed to get beat. This is how much I don't care about football, by the way. Like, I fully salute everyone who is a solid football fan, because I watched 3 Scotland games and was stressed at my napper. Like, I couldn't be a hardened football supporter. So anyway, Brazil are 1-0 up. We're still like, okay, don't worry about it. It's fine. Then the camera pans to Gerard Butler's face, and I was like, ugh. And then 30 seconds after his face was off my telly, Brazil scored again. And I was like, fucking Gerard Butler!
Yeah, it was fucking unfortunate, but aye, fuck him.
See the amount of messages we got on Instagram of like people taking photos of Gerard Butler's face, being like, as soon as I saw his face, I totally thought he is. I was like, yup. Yeah, so fuck Gerard Butler for making us lose the World Cup. Like, that's like the final strike against his name. But listen, I'll be generous. Jerry, my guy, if you're listening, I don't know why the fuck you would be listening, because every episode just slanders him. But listen, Jerry, this one's for you, right? See, the next time you're in Paisley, you're away to see your ma or something for the weekend, come on through to Glasgow, right? We're inviting you on, right? You can come up. You can pick the movie. We can do one of your own, or we could do your favourite movie. We'll just sit and chat shite. We'll have a grand old time, right? Yeah. But The one caveat of you coming up here is you're getting a shot collar put on you, and the second your Scottish accent starts going into your Scottish accent, you're getting zapped to fuck, and I'm having none of it. There'll be none of this tuna. There'll be none of this.
Fuck off.
Yeah, my guy. Like, stop trying to make up Scottish slang. It doesn't exist. Do you know what I mean?
He's just a cunt.
Ain't he, man?
And that football thing just, it didn't help that we hated him already. Like, we're pissed off that he was there, and we're pissed off that seeing his face, then us getting beat. It's just fucking cruel.
Yeah, it is. So, listen, Jerry, you probably will never listen to this. Or maybe one of his assistants listens to this because they also hate him.
Yeah.
But if you're ever about, geez a phone, man up. I'll make you a cup of tea. I'll be pleasant. But I will call you an arsehole to your face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watch him be like the loveliest guy ever. And we just have such beef with this clown.
Nah, fuck him. Actual fuck him.
So, with the sentiment of, it's shite being Scottish, we're the lowest of the low, let's dive into Trainspotting. Yeah. Ross, hit us with your thoughts and opinions.
Right, so, do you think this is the best intro in a movie?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's got to be into
Absolutely. That was my first note as well, of just like, as soon as you hear the Iggy Pop drums, you're there. And I checked the time when we were watching it. We were 6 minutes in before the kind of opening title card came up. And within those 6 minutes, you knew exactly what we were dealing with.
Oh, yeah.
You knew all of the characters that were coming in. The tone of the movie's already been set. Fucking A. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, for the intro being like this funny, quite like a good fucking opening, like monologue and that's it. I don't even know, like, what type of movie this is because it sets you up, like, funny and that, but then it gets fucking dark. But,
like, immediately. Yeah.
But it's like, I don't think I've came across a movie that deals with, like, heavy stuff like this. Yeah, you're still chuckling away.
Totally. Yeah, because I don't even know, like, would you call this movie a dark comedy? Because it's the bits that are funny are hilarious, but also, like, it'll have you laughing, and then 2 seconds after you're laughing, hit you with, like, a really intense scene, like the Baby Dawn scene or the withdrawal scene, or, do you know what I mean? Like, even the end of the monologue when he gets caught off the police later on in the movie when that's addressed, that's leading into horrendous, do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know if I would call it a dark comedy, but I think the way this movie deals with the subject matter, it's like it's not flowery, and it's not it lays everything down for you of that, like, these people are arseholes, these are the things they need to do. But also, maybe it's just the Scottish humour. Do you know what I mean? Like, we are just a funny nation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very dark humour into it. But it's like, it's such a bizarre, like, there's so many, like, facets to this movie that, see, people that can only watch this once, I don't understand.
I don't understand. I'm so game for watching this movie. And also, just off the back of you saying people that can only watch this once, see the kind of people that say this movie specifically glamorizes heroin. Have they seen this movie?
Oh, no, there's no way it does.
Nothing about this movie makes heroin seem like a fun time. Do you know what I mean? And, like, I know everybody says it, of that, like, heroin would probably be like a deathbed drug, do you know what I mean? Because people do seem to be willing to ruin their whole life over it, do you know what I mean? So maybe, like, the day before I die, hook a brother up, do you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
But also, this isn't me soliciting drugs, nobody phone a Polish, right? but like, there's nothing. I went through a right phase when I was like 15, 16 of, like, I don't know what was going on with me mentally, but I was, like, only watching junkie movies. Yeah. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, of course, they're junkies.
Right, that's it. They call themselves junkies in the movie, but I never know if we're being, like, derogatory or not. Awkward derogatory about everybody else. It doesn't matter. Like, but, like, I watched this, Requiem for a Dream, Candy, like, movies like that, like, religiously for about 6 months. Like, Requiem for a Dream I watched, like, weekly, sometimes twice weekly. I don't know what was going on with me when I was 16. I was clearly struggling, but I was pretty like, I love junkie movies. But, like, none of those movies made me think heroin seemed like a great idea. Like, not one. Do you know what I mean? So the people, and there's a bit in Useless Information that I've got about this, of the, like, senators and, like, politicians were using this movie as like a kids shouldn't watch this movie because they'll start taking drugs. No one watches this movie and thinks that's a great time.
But that's the thing. I mean, by what I was looking up, like people who have been heroin addicts and that say this is the most realistic depiction.
I could totally see that. Yeah.
It's like Requiem for a Dream and that, as much as a lot of weird shit goes on in that probably glamorizes it more than anything in this film.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, up until like the last 20 minutes of Requiem for a Dream. But yeah, no, totally. And like, just to kind of tangent, when was the first time you think you watched this movie? This does have something to do with this. Let Me Land the Plane.
Oh, fuck no. Probably, I'd have been on Film 4 at some point,
Yeah.
I mean, they funded it, so probably Film 4.
Yeah, I remember, so, like, I remember my mum and dad showing me this movie because, like, my mum was a social worker when I was growing up, and she was always terrified that I was going to turn to the drugs. Like, I don't know what about my face gave off future drug addicts, but she was always terrified I was going to turn to the drugs. So, like, me, her, and my dad all sat down and watched this movie, and, like, do you know that way for the first 10 minutes, I remember being like, this is great. And then you get to, like, the first withdrawal scene, the baby Dawn scene, and I was just like, this is awful. But I think because this movie is, like, the soundtrack is incredible and the visuals are incredible, and everybody's got great clothes in this movie as well. Like, so I understand that level of, like, everybody looks good, well, within reason.
Yeah,
like
they do not look good.
No, but like their clothes, they wear a lot of Adidas, right? The tunes are good, and like, I don't know, I can understand that part of, like, that might make this look glamorous, but the rest of the movie is just like, like, Tommy's story alone is horrific. If you didn't watch this movie in its entirety and only watched the Tommy segment of this movie, that's enough to put you off heroin. I'm sorry, that is enough. I've never touched the hard stuff because of Tommy. Like,
yeah, as I say, it's kind of laced in, but what really sets the tone for me is, like, Ewan McGregor is, like, argue with himself, be like, no, heroin is easier. Like, you don't need to worry. It goes up all the modern life stuff, like bills and what's it he says? You want a ride, you can't get one. You get a girlfriend, there's too much hassle, and he rifles off just, like, mundane stuff that happens in life, and he's like, no, I'm better off this way. And
I don't want to deal with anything else. I just want to have my heroin.
He's like, your only concern when you're a heroin addict is getting heroin. And I'm like, it's such like a weird nihilistic way of dealing with it.
Yeah, of, like, accepting your addict status. Do you know what I mean?
But it's like, it kind of goes on about, he does the want to be this boring person. So is it, that's a bit of a fucking extreme though, becoming a fucking skaghead.
Yeah, totally. And, like, that's it though, isn't it? It's like, I don't want to become this boring person, but then you're in this cycle and routine of, like, and it shows you in the movie, like, what they do to, like, get money, having to deal with arsehole drug dealers, having to, even when he gets sober and he's like, I actually have to deal with my friends in full consciousness that are so much like me, I want to take myself out. Do you know what I mean? It's like, there is this real deep nihilism about Renton's character. But also, another thing that I think works and that's good about this movie is, like, none of these people are good people.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a movie that you watch, you're not rooting for Ewan McGregor.
No.
I think the only person you're rooting for, to an extent, in this movie is Spud, Ewan Bremner's character, because he is, like, see, for all Spud is, like, a total fuck-up, he's also the one that gets fucked over the most. Like, he always gets caught, like, in the end, do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, the movie tries to pivot you towards Ewan McGregor's because, like, the voiceover and that, like, a sense of, like, intimacy with him.
Yeah, like, this is the main character that you have to build a relationship with. Yeah.
I mean, I think with Spud is, he's a fuck up in that, but I don't know, maybe I'm just fucking horrific towards, like, drug addicts. I was like, yous have done it yourselves.
I think not to get too, like, deep into, like, you know, the socio-economical thing of drug taking in Glasgow especially, but, like, other countries and cities deal with drug addiction in a completely different way. They have, like, better facilities and all this kind of thing, whereas it does kind of feel like in Glasgow it's like, on you go, like, go to the streets. Do you know what I mean? Like, I again, maybe it is just because we've been brought up in Glasgow, and it's not to make Glasgow sound like this junkie ridden like like Mad Max sphere, but like I think that might be another thing of just like walking about Glasgow and being like, I don't fancy any of this. Do you know what I mean? But
thing is, Glasgow's very well known that Glasgow is
bad for it.
Yeah, and it's like since the 80s, it's always been like number one in the UK.
Yeah.
Near the top of the leagues in Europe. Come on.
Come on.
Yeah.
The one thing we're going to win as a country.
We used to be murder capital, now we're just heroin addicts.
Woohoo! Freedom!
Yeah.
But like I think like when you see the way other countries and other cities deal with this, like would you call it an epidemic? I don't know. I don't really want to get too socio-ecological.
I don't know enough about it. Yeah.
Exactly. I just know my own opinions. But when you see how other places deal with it and versus how we deal with it, it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. But also, like when you watch Trainspotting and you see the lengths that they go to, I think maybe it's not jarring for us because you do see people running up and down on the rob in town. You do see like people kind of openly doing drug deals at the corner. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's not, I don't know if it's maybe not as jarring for us because this is a culture that we are aware of. Yeah. Whereas I can imagine in other cultures like this in America or other countries being like, what the fuck is going on? I do also think, and again, this is not me slagging this movie, but I don't know, maybe I am, but it's also, I do think this movie also contributes to the negative stereotype of Scottish people. Again, this movie and everything I've literally just said in the last 5 minutes, do you know what I mean? I do think there really is, and that's why Trainspotting and Braveheart are normally in the same conversation because there's two types of stereotypes in Scotland. There's the haggis chasing, kilt wearing, blue face.
Oh yeah, like up in the Highlands and
exactly, going through the heather, right? Or there's the Trainspotting running down Princes Street. Fuck everybody because we're all alkies and drug addicts, do you know what I mean? And we'll throw a pint glass over the top of us and glasses if you want. So like somewhere in between is what actual Scotland is, do you know what I mean? But I think between Braveheart and Trainspotting is why, I think that was something I noticed from the World Cup as well, is like when the Tartan Army and basically 90% of Scotland went to Boston, people almost seemed surprised that like Scotland was well behaved and seemed surprised that Scotland was getting on with everybody, and all we really did was drink Boston out of beer, like, do you know what I mean? But everybody had a good time and blah blah blah. And I do wonder if because of these stereotypes that these movies have kind of portrayed, I wonder if like because we did go over there and everything was fine and we got on with everybody and now we're twin cities with Boston, everyone was like, oh, Scottish people are all right. Do you know what I mean? That was a really long-winded tangent.
I think mostly though is because we're no English.
Yeah. That's true.
Like, they've always had a reputation of basically making an arse of it. But I see, I don't care that we're all junkies, murderers, fucking alkies and that. We're no English. That's all that matters to me.
In the words of Ewan McGregor, we're colonised by wankers.
Aye.
See as well, like, obviously, just because we were talking about the choose life bit and stuff, like, obviously that is such an iconic monologue of just any movie in general, right? But, like, I feel like growing up, everybody had the choose life poster. Yeah. Everybody did, like, I know I did. And, like, you would go into different people's gaffs. And I feel like that's always, like, baby's first poster. Like, now when people move out or when people get to decorate their own room, everybody always buys a Trainspotting poster or the Choose Life monologue poster, which always made me laugh. Did you ever have one?
No.
Oh, okay, fine.
No, well, you're forgetting I shared a room with my sister.
That's true.
Who was not interested in it. What the fuck would I do?
Oh my god. No, you'd put up a Choose Life poster and your dad would immediately be like, he's a drug addict! Your dad and my mum had that in common of that, like, please don't let my Wayne turn to the drugs.
Fucking no reason to suspect her, but cool.
See, just to get into like some of the kind of comedic elements of this movie, just again within the first 9 minutes of this movie, when Renton is like, I'm coming off the skag, and he's like, I'm going to do the sick boy method, and it's like, I bet he lacks in moral fibre. I bet he knows a lot about Sean Connery. It's like, I know, fair enough, big man, fair enough.
The best bits in this obviously are the comic bits, right? But like Begbie alone has like so many one-liners like, about people, and he just the way even Ewan McGregor with some of his lines deliver it. Like the bit where he's talking about Tommy, like, spoiler alert if you've not seen it, Tommy contracts HIV by using, well, a dirty needle, I assume.
Yeah.
And it's that, this is Ewan McGregor's full of heroin and that, be like, I look at all that shite in his blood and I'm like, you're not in heroin.
Yeah.
It's like this holier than thou attitude he's got. It's like, I might be a heroin, I'm not going HIV.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. It is that really dark humour, man.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. It's fucking funny.
It only works through their delivery.
Totally. And I don't know if that is just like a Scottish thing though, of like, we are a very self-deprecating culture. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's pros and cons to that. Do you know what I mean? Of that, like, you know, you can't see anybody rising too high above their station without being like, oh, get down. Do you know what I mean? Like, but also, like, we are a culture that's ready to take a piss out of themselves. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say we're a wallowing culture. I would say we deal with everything through humour. Do you know what I mean? And this movie perfectly portrays that. That like, even in like the darkest moments of this movie, somebody's got a one-liner to say. Yeah. The only time in this movie where no one has a one-liner to say is the baby Dawn. Yeah. That's because fair enough. Do you know what I mean?
And even like Ewan McGregor even says it himself, is that there's nothing to say here. I can't say it, and you're waiting for Sick Boy screams it. Is it somebody say something?
Aye.
And is it? But that's probably the worst thing you're ever going to experience.
Do you know what I mean? So like, and again, the only thing he has to contribute is I'll cook up. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not, and I think that's another thing about this movie. I don't want to seem like I'm really coming down hard on this movie. Like, I really like this movie.
Oh, it's fantastic.
But like, they are all just such shit friends to each other. Like, it goes into it more in Trainspotting 2. We'll kind of talk about Trainspotting 2 throughout this movie as well. I think in Trainspotting 2, it more tells you that they really have all grown up together. They have all came up for this scheme in Edinburgh together. So like they all took heroin together, and they've all. So it's more like they're all just together through happenstance. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Through like they've never ventured out anywhere to meet new people. They've all just been like, cool, this is our bit. We all take heroin together. Yada yada. But especially like when Ewan McGregor gets sober, and it's like, I actually don't like any of yous. Like.
It just shows you though that like even though he's getting sober and like he has nobody else, they're a friend group just through proximity and like mutual self-destruction.
Yeah, totally.
What I find funny though is, so you have like Tommy who clean living, like he had his shit together until he didn't. Yeah. Like how is he still friends with him? You wouldn't be friends with him.
I was literally thinking that, like, even if you're childhood friends, like, if you're going one way and they're going another, I understand that obviously these have been your pals since you were kids, but there has to be that point in your head where you're like, all my pals are now junkies. I don't want to be a junkie, therefore should probably stop hanging about with these people. Do you know what I mean?
But that's fine, because you don't see him in the den until he starts taking heroin.
Until Izzy leaves him, and then he's like, fuck it, you always say how good this is, let me try it.
Yeah, I've got a bit about it, but that's in my A. Right, we'll
okay.
discuss that later.
Okay.
But, so you have Tommy, right? I mean, keeps himself in shape. Now, you see him working out, like, nice gaff and all that. You wouldn't be pals, right? I'm just going to put it there. How the fuck are you pals with Begbie?
Yeah. See when Tommy goes, oh, but he's a mate, so what can you do? Who the fuck wants to be pals with that? Like, Begbie is that guy, and everybody's had a pal. No, let me land the plane. Let me land the plane. Let me land the plane, right? Not that everybody's had a pal like Begbie, right? But everybody has had that one pal, or not even, like, maybe someone in a friend group when you all used to go out and you knew they were the liability. They were the one that were going to ruin your night, whether it was starting an argument, going in a huff, yada, yada, yada. Every single person has been in a friendship group with someone like that where you're like, oh, fuck. Now, I've never been pals with anybody as mental as fucking Begbie. But
the class though.
Oh no, that would just be sheer anxiety. Like, I would just cancel every night. I'd be like, I'm not getting stabbed, mate. I'm not getting stabbed. But can we take 5 minutes to talk about Robert Carlyle?
I put a pin on that there because I kind of want to finish this friendship thing.
Sorry. How rude of me. I'm asking
I
you
know.
to let me land the plane and I'm not even letting you land yours. Do you know what I mean? Carry on.
So as we're talking about Begbie,
Yep.
is it? He's probably the only one that, although it's never mentioned, that he's kind of the most honest with himself.
Yeah,
Like,
he knows what he's about.
yeah.
He just knows he's a massive Raj. Yeah.
Aye. Whereas, like, even though like Ewan McGregor and Sick Boy, they kind of do like this posturing, like, oh, we can talk about this deep intellectual stuff, and is it? No, yous are just fucking smack kids.
But that's the thing, though. Like, they think because they can philosophize
Yeah.
about being heroin addicts that it makes them almost better heroin addicts. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but even like when they're there, when they're hanging about, and Sick Boy talks about his philosophy. And his philosophy, for all it's funny, that's the kind of party you hear at 5 o'clock in the morning in a kitchen somewhere,
yeah.
but it's like, you've got it, you lose it. Once it's lost, it's gone forever. I've heard shit like
yeah.
like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're saying it in heavy groundbreaking, but all their conversations are, because they're all drug addled or they're steaming or whatever, and it's like they just let each other go on these big mad tangents, and they think because they say big words and have big thoughts that makes them a better class of heroin addicts. But then you see them raiding old folks' homes or tellies and like stealing prescription off doctors and yada yada. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the only time you really, especially with Sick Boy, see when his kid dies, like everything just goes in. He just turns out like this fucking evil bastard.
And you see it more in the second one.
Yeah.
Like, he's never got over that, and he's just, because obviously in this one it's like, oh, I'm going down. He kind of starts going down like the pimp path, but then in the second one he's just a bitter, nasty man. Do you know what I mean? Which, fair enough, but.
Yeah, like the only one who kind of doesn't change is Spud.
Yeah.
And-
Oh, I love Spud so much.
Yeah, like he's just like the victim, the bully victim of the group.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like they all have their funny moments. I do feel like Spud is the comic relief of this movie, but I think Spud is also such a sad character.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
like, as much as he's hilarious and he gets himself into these situations, he's, I don't want to say spineless, but like, yeah, he's pretty spineless. Like, in this one, he doesn't say anything when Ewan McGregor's leaving. Even before that, he doesn't try and defend himself and get 6 months in the jail. Doesn't alert anybody that Ewan McGregor's leaving. And then even in the second one, when he accidentally tells Franco Begbie that that they're back, like, as soon as Francis comes in, he's like on his knees, like, please don't batter me, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. Do you know what I mean?
He was probably one when he was younger. He just used to follow them a bit. And kind of became the punching bag for them. But then he went, no, that's a pal.
Aye. Even like in the second one where when they're like, oh, what did you do with the money? And he's like, you gave $4,000 to a heroin addict. What did you think I was going to do with it? Do you know what I mean? And then, like, even that, like, he gets himself sorted and then forgets about daylight savings. And is like, oh, I lost my job because I was an hour late. I was an hour late for supervision with my weigh. I was an hour late at the gyro and all that. And then it's all the end of the day, he's like, he was like, when I was a junkie, I didn't need to worry about this kind of stuff. Like,
that's it. And it always leads back to, like, the oversimplification of just being a junkie.
That's it. That is it, though, isn't it? It's like you were saying earlier on when Ewan McGregor's rhyming all this stuff off of, like, you've got a job, you hate your job, you've no got a bird, you've got nobody to hang about with, you've got a bird, it's too much hassle, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, there's always a reason to just not get involved in society. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's always a reason not to be in with the social norms. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right, do you want to get into the Robert Carlyle of it all then?
Yes, please. Yes, please. So, I have some personal stories about Robert Carlyle, but I'll save them for a wee 5 minutes. But how have we not put Robert Carlyle on the grafter list yet?
Oh, you know what? It's actually been a major mistake that we haven't.
Honestly, like, he's in Everton, and like, I think it's a kind of Scottish pride thing of like, whenever you see Robert Carlyle in something, you're like, aye, cool, I'll sit and I'll watch that. Good for him, do you know what I mean?
Oh, anything he's in is just fantastic. Like, I mean, he's managed to do like big Hollywood movies.
James Bond movies.
Yeah, like he does, like he still does his like I say wee Scottish stuff. They're not wee Scottish stuff, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And he's just great in everything.
Absolutely. And he's one of the Scottish actors that like remembers his roots and like he still comes back and like raises money for like Scottish charities and stuff. Like he's like a born and bred Gorbals guy, do you know what I mean? And there was like, this actually kind of leads into my personal story about Robert Carlyle, but like Robert Carlyle raises money for the Benny Lynch Foundation.
Yeah.
Benny Lynch was this like Gorbals boxer, and there's always like kind of fundraisers to try and get like a permanent memorial for him and stuff.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, and when I used to go up to my nanny's, the famous nanny of the Braveheart episodes, when I used to go up to hers, we were watching Robert Carlyle's, was it, is it The World, it's not The World, is it The World Is Not Enough?
Oh, fuck, that's a good question, though. But I know what one you're talking about.
I think it might, yeah. Whatever the Bond movie is that Robert Carlyle was in, me and my nanny had watched it, and then she sent me out to the shop to get us both Magnums, right? And I was heading to the shop and saw Robert Carlyle in Peckham's, and I was like, oh my God. I must have been about, I think I was about 12 or something, right? Maybe younger than that. And she sent me to the shop for Magnums. I saw Robert Carlyle in Peckham's, and I spent the Magnum money on a notebook and a pen to get his autograph. And I went up to him and I was like, excuse me, Mr. Carlyle, like, I'm really sorry to interrupt you, but me and my nanny are big fans of you. Can you sign an autograph to my nanny?
Yeah.
And he did, and he stood and he spoke to me. I went, aye, I was supposed to come out and get his Magnums, but I saw you and I knew she would appreciate your autograph. So he went and bought me and my nanny Magnums because I'd spent the notebook
amazing.
money. Honestly, it was so lovely.
Yeah, that's class.
And then like years later, when I worked in the pub, he came down to the pub for a Benny Lynch fundraising thing, and he was auctioning off. This was when he was in Once Upon a Time, and he was auctioning off. He'd got like one of the scripts, and he got everybody in the cast to sign it, and he was auctioning it off for money for Benny Lynch.
Yeah.
And he was so pleasant. He was so lovely. And when the pub closed, he stayed behind to help us tidy up. And I went up to him and I was like, Mr. Carlyle, it's been so lovely having you tonight. I don't know if you'll remember, I was only a kid, but and I told him the story about how I'd spent the money on a notebook and a pen, and he'd bought his Magnums, and he went, oh my God, Peckham's in Hindland, did you used to have blonde hair? And I was like, oh! And I could not believe that he remembered. And even if he didn't, I mean, I was going to be like, even if he didn't remember, but he clearly did remember that I used to have blonde hair. And I just thought that was so lovely. And then he was like, how's your nanny keeping? And I was like, ugh, she's not here anymore. Like, do you know what I mean? And I was like, but he was so lovely. And I just couldn't believe that he'd remembered that. Do you know what I mean? And I was just like, that was just like such a small act of kindness in your life for me, for my nanny, and for the fact that you're not this big hoity-toity guy, and you remember buying a lassie and her nanny a Magnum. I was just like, fucking kudos, Robert Carlyle. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. You don't hear any stories about him being an arse.
No, I think he was back in the day. I mean, as in, I think he was a bit of a drinker back in the day. But I wouldn't. You've never heard him being like, "Oh fuck, Robert Carlyle's hanging about." Do you know what I mean?
You never hear anything about. I mean, maybe I'm just not looking for it, but it's like he was at a dick on set to somebody, or there was a major falling out for some reason.
Nah, I think guys like him and like Billy Boyd and stuff like that, who have kind of like being born and bred in guilders, and like you know, like they know their roots, and they know they're just like, not that they know they're lucky, because obviously their talents got them to where they got to, but like they don't seem like the kind of guys that take it for granted. Do you know what I mean? Like they know where they're from. Do you know what I mean?
But that's what I mean. We've spoken about it a few times about who's the most successful like Scottish actor.
Yeah.
And I mean, as much as we hate to say it, Gerard Butler's up there.
McAvoy's up there.
McAvoy, McGregor,
Yep.
and Carlyle, but Carlyle's been doing it for fucking ages now.
And that's the thing, is like Carlyle does like his plays and stuff like that as well. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure, I can't remember what the Begbie book is called.
Oh, The Blade Artist, I think it is.
Something like that. And I'm pretty sure there was a play and he was in the play. Here, I mean, it was years ago, but I'm pretty sure it was like the Citizens or the Kings or something, and he was in it.
Because they're talking about, there was a hang about the early 2020s that was in production.
Yeah. And but I think like they put in, when it got to Trainspotting 2, they mixed in a bit of the Blade Artist in with the Trainspotting story kind of thing.
Because you hear rumours every year being like, oh, Trainspotting 3 is about to start, but I don't know how I'd feel about that.
Yeah, I think Trainspotting 2, I mean, I don't really think Trainspotting 2 needed to be
No,
made,
no.
but I enjoyed it and I thought it was good. It's not as good as the first one, but it's
No.
still a good watch. But I think that kind of tied everybody up and gave everybody the kind of send off that you expected. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It picked up exactly where you thought people were going to be, like 20 years after. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, if they made another Begbie movie, wire in, because Robert Carlyle's another one. Like, he doesn't really age. He looks the exact same. He's just got a bit chunkier. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, Begbie's probably the most interesting character.
Absolutely.
Because yet again, I mean, it must be a Scottish thing where you can just be fucking psychotic.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. This is kind of going into useless information. I'll save what actor was basically almost Begbie. But in the book, Begbie is this tall, intimidating, big.
Yeah.
But I think it works better that he is this wee nutter. Because it is always, and I don't know if this is a worldwide thing or just a Scottish thing, but wee man syndrome is a huge thing in Scotland, and it's always these wee, like, scrawny nut jobs that are the ones that you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, because I don't know, they think they've got something to prove or something like that. And Robert Carlyle's came out in different interviews over the years to talk about why he played Begbie the way he played him and stuff like that. And that was why, again, I've never read the Trainspotting book. It is always, do you know, Dunway, it's one, I've started it several times, but it's one of those ones that's obviously written in Edinburgh slang and it doesn't have any, like, punctuation or anything like that. So it is, I think it's one of those ones when you get your brain into it, you can tune in, but I've never got to that level. Do you know what I mean? I might get it on Audible. We'll see. But anyway, Robert Carlyle's kind of came out and said that he's always played Begbie as this, like, angry, closeted guy. That's why later on when he kisses the trans woman, she is the only person that he doesn't batter. Yeah. Because you, in any other situation, I mean, you see him at the start when he throws the fucking glass.
I mean, he starts every, like, problem he's in.
Oh my God. But it's like, see, the first time you meet Begbie and he throws the glass and it's like, no cunt leaves here until we find out what cunt did it.
Phenomenal.
So good, right? But, and then, like, you can almost laugh at how mental Begbie is, right? But see that, the last kind of public brawl that Begbie has when they're in London and he glasses the guy and he kicks them and he slashes Spud by accident and stuff. That's not funny. That stops being funny very quickly. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, fuck, this guy is absolutely cracked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the weird thing about Begbie is that they're not his pals. Like, he just demands, like you need to fucking be with me.
Yeah.
And, like, what I do find funny, which is, it's quite a weird, because Begbie, for all he is, a fucking psycho and that, but he is the one who's telling him, stop taking that shit. And he's very anti-drugs for somebody who, I'm surprised, hasn't used it to his advantage. Yeah,
because you could absolutely see in any other depiction Begbie being like a mad cokehead or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, like he gives off that vibe. But then I suppose Renton says that, doesn't he? Like when he's like, oh, his drug was other people, like battering other people. Do you know what I mean?
But it's just funny that he does all this shit and he went, nah, drugs are the ones that are harming you.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck's sake, man.
Aye, that's it. Also, the pub that he throws and starts the massive fight in, you can still go to that. It's on Queen Margaret Drive, but I feel like it changes names like every couple of years.
Yeah. It's called the Brew House now.
Yeah.
Sure.
But you can like still go there. You can still sit in that seat. There's like a wee kind of plaque thing of like, this is where Trainspotting was filmed. And that was something as well you and me spotted this time round, is like, obviously it's a film set in Edinburgh, but then we were watching it and we were like, that's Maryhill. That's Partick. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think the only part that's filmed in Edinburgh is
the Princess
Chase.
Street Run. Yeah.
And I'm kind of annoyed at that because you see it and it's like they're in these skeezy bits. It's fucking Glasgow.
Yeah. Like, there's the bit where Mother Superior lives. That's at the top of, it's in between Saracen Street and the top of what is that area called?
Milton.
Those houses are in between Saracen Street and like when you get to Milton kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's north of Glasgow.
Yeah. But that bit did used to look like that, because I remember like when me and my mum would drive around there, that bit did look like that. But now they've all been knocked down and turned into beautiful new builds. So like these movies are great of like, a time capsule of like, oh, remember when that looked like
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Or remember this? Do you know what I mean? Because now everything's kind of new builds and it's like, oh, you would never know that's where Mother Superior lived. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
But I feel it just gives Glasgow a bigger bad rap.
That's what we said earlier on, but isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Like, fuck you, Edinburgh.
Fucking Edinburgh.
Aye.
No, we can't say that. Vanessa was here last week. She's basically from Edinburgh. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's her fault.
Fucking Edinburgh. No, do you know what? Actually, the funniest bit that is like very Edinburgh specific to me is see when it's the first day of the Fringe and the American comes in and is like, where's the bathroom? And they're all like, fucking yes. Like, honestly, I think, like, know how, like, they always say, like, hell is, like, personalised to you? Your own personalised hell. Hell, to me, would be Permo stuck in the Edinburgh Fringe, but everything smells like rotisserie chicken, but you can't eat a rotisserie chicken. And you're just fighting through the crowds of the Edinburgh Fringe trying not to have a fucking panic attack. As you can hear someone being like, I'm a quarter Scotch. Shut it!
Fuck you.
No.
So, right, now that we've dissected the friendship and the people within it, right? See all the, I've called them the main cast. Who do you think's had the better career?
Ooh. I mean,
there's not many of them that haven't went on to do, like, I would say better and bigger, but they've went on to bigger things in this.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin McKidd basically ran Grey's Anatomy, didn't he? Is he I've never seen Grey's Anatomy, but I know, is he the bad guy in it or something?
He's in that. I mean, he's kind of famous for, he does a lot of video game stuff.
Yes, and he does, well, I mean, they were all in Brave too. Kelly MacDonald's her, Kevin McKidd's the Fife. You know, can get you with the pun, do you? Like, do you know what I mean? He's very that one. I know Kevin McKidd's went on to do loads of stuff. Ewan McGregor's obviously Ewan McGregor.
Star Wars and everything.
Yeah, man, yeah. Robert Carlyle. Maybe Ewan Bremner, but then I don't know because, like, he's another one that pops up and stuff every so often. But I think the thing is about this is there was a lot of, like, kind of infighting after this movie came out. So, like, I think because Ewan Bremner played Renton and Sick Boy in the play.
Right, he done both of them.
So, like, that's what the internet says. So, like, but, like, I think there from what I could read, there was like a wee bit of animosity of why am I Spud, even though Spud's one of the best ones. Do you know what I mean? And I think as well, like, Ewan McGregor and Danny Boyle, they fell out. It was after the beach they fell out because obviously, like, Ewan McGregor and Danny Boyle, they'd been in a lot of, like, Danny Boyle's kind of up and coming stuff.
I'm
like,
sure Danny Boyle's first movie had
is it
in it.
Shallow Grave?
I think so. Aye.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Carol loves it. But Ewan McGregor and Danny Boyle had been in loads, and then it was Ewan McGregor was all set to be in The Beach.
Yeah.
But Danny Boyle was offered a bigger budget if Leo DiCaprio was in it.
You're not going to say no.
Yeah, so obviously he went with DiCaprio, but then Ewan McGregor and Danny Boyle didn't speak for years after that.
That's weird.
I know. I think they only kind of mended their relationship just before they started making T2, or that was the story anyway at the time. And I'm pretty sure there was some beef between Johnny Lee Miller and Ewan McGregor as well. Do you know what I mean? So I think it must be mad though. Do you know what I mean? That you're in this super iconic movie from the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, not just an iconic Scottish movie, an iconic movie in general.
100%.
And there must always be that, because, I mean, Ewan McGregor's just shot up. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's in everything. And there must be that thing of, like, oh, arsehole, why am I not doing that? Do you know what I mean? I know Johnny Lee Miller did that Sherlock TV show and stuff, and he pops up and stuff, but I would say Ewan McGregor probably had the biggest career.
I would. He's probably became he is the fucking Hollywood star of them, isn't he? But
maybe that's what it is, though. Maybe because he just dived straight to Hollywood. Whereas I would say, like we were just talking about earlier on, Robert Carlyle's probably had a similar career, but he's quite low key about things.
Yeah.
And then obviously he went on to be in 10 seasons of Once Upon a Time. Do you know? I used to watch that. I don't even know how many seasons of there are now.
I mean, that's it. I mean, he does America TV shows and all that.
I think he lives in Canada. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. Kevin McKidd, obviously, fucking 2 million seasons of Grey's Anatomy. But I ask, because is there any other movies of that time, or basically in general, where they all go on to have, like, all of them going to have fucking great careers.
Yeah, even Kelly MacDonald, as much
Yeah.
as she fries my brain, she's went on. I mean, she was in the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
She's in like the Disney Pixar movies.
Yeah.
She's very much. If you need a Scottish woman with a super Scottish accent, you phone her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, no, they've all went on to carve out their own way. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, because I think they were all in their 20s, like early 20s, other than Carlisle. I think he was about 34, 35 when this came out.
Yeah.
He was like the experienced one at 35. I mean, even side characters, Peter Mullen, he's a fucking icon of like British TV fucking cinema.
I mean, even Spud's Bird, like she's in everything.
Yeah.
And like even like one of the interviewers that does Spud is Francis for Still Game and all that. Like there's James Cosmo's Renton's dad. Like this is a movie of Scottish actors that aren't they're no shite in any way. Do you know what I mean?
This is like before they became. I mean, James Cosmo, he appeared at fucking a letter opening there for the money site, but like everybody in this has done great. Like,
Absolutely.
I can't think of another film that, especially early on in all their careers, that they've all went and made a name for themselves.
Totally. And like I'm saying, like obviously I didn't know that Kevin McKidd was doing like video game stuff and all that, but there's things like that, like some of that, because I think Ewan Bremner does a lot of writing for things.
Yeah.
Again, not too sure, but I think like on the internet says.
Uh-huh.
So like, but obviously like I think because Ewan McGregor's face is everywhere at all times, like he's always got like at least 2 movies a year coming out.
Oh fuck yeah.
And whereas like I think if the other ones, if you're going down like the video game route or the writing route, because your face isn't everywhere, you would be like, oh, like maybe people that didn't know that Robert Carlyle was in that Once Upon a Time thing, they'd be like, oh, whatever happened to Robert Carlyle? And it's like he's been fucking living his best life.
Oh, he's been solid for fucking decades.
Do you know what I mean? Like even Johnny Lee Miller, like you might not see him in hundreds of movies, but he's got the Sky One TV shows on the go. Do you know what I mean?
He's got it fucking locked.
100%. And listen, hackers.
Oh, fuck, remember?
Fight the planet. No, hack the planet. Sorry, hack the planet. So will we get into the speech of it all?
Aye, go on.
It's shite being Scottish. We're the lowest of the low. Like, do you remember? Again, I think I brought this up in the Braveheart. Episode. It was like the day before the Scottish independence vote, and they had Braveheart and Trainspotting on film 4, and it was like there's a speech for either camp, you know. Like, but I do think like I know we kind of said this earlier on, but like, for all Braveheart is the like freedom, Scotland, yes. Trainspotting is probably the more realistic speech of the like we're living in a country where it's always raining. We all have this pure like downbeaten chip on our shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Like as a culture, we've all got a chip on our shoulder for something. Do you know what I mean? But that doesn't. I don't take the Trainspotting speech as negatively as I think it could be taken. Do you know what I mean? It's the perfect antithesis to the Braveheart running about in kilts and the healings through the heather.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? And it just makes me laugh every time it comes on. And it's like, when I put up on Instagram that we were doing Trainspotting, Emma from The Horror and Her, hello Emma, messaged and was like, it's shite waiting until Wednesday, it's the lowest. And it's always like, for all this movie is so incredibly quotable, that is the biggest quote of the movie. Do you know what I mean? Because I think you've got this speech, you've got the Choose Life speech.
Oh, 100%.
And they go into it more in Trainspotting 2 of why Choose Life, and it's basically that it was this like it was an HIV campaign in the 80s, and it was like choose better, whatever the fuck, but they would just turn it into be like choose stealing sweeties for the shop when you're 10 and all this kind of stuff, and it is funny, do you know what I mean? But then you've even just get like wee throwaway lines of like, for all the good it'll do me, I might as well shove it up my arse, like, do you know what I mean? Like there's all these like pure mad quotable lines from this movie that I think works. But I think obviously if you think Trainspotting, the 2 speeches you're thinking of is the Choose Life monologue or the it's shite being Scottish.
And the thing is, with that, like, shite being Scottish one, everybody ranted like that.
100%. We ranted about that last week when we get put out.
And do you know even the best bit? The best part of that rant isn't even the shite being Scottish. It's We got Colin. I don't even hate the English. They're just wankers.
We, on the other hand, get colonised by wankers. Yeah.
We get colonised by people that don't even have a culture.
We can't find a good culture and colonised by.
Like
it's
that.
a shite state of affairs, Tommy. And no amount of fresh air will fix it.
It's just fucking. It's that wee bit got me, man. It was so fucking funny.
But that is the thing, though, that you were saying earlier on. Like, there is proper belly chuckle laughs, and then 2 seconds later, you're like, oh no. Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, it's funny without trying to be funny. Like that comedy's always. I've always preferred that. Because if they tried it too hard or tried to push it, it wouldn't have worked.
Sometimes I think that's maybe what didn't work so well with Trainspotting 2. Like, obviously, Trainspotting 2 was funny enough, but I think it didn't have that balance of, like, do you know the way there were bits that were really funny, but I don't know how funny they would be out with the kind of Scottish culture.
Yeah.
Like, they take the mick out of, like, sectarianism and stuff. In the second one, there's a song, it's hilarious. But, like, I don't know if you would think that was as funny if you weren't brought up
if you didn't know about it.
Exactly. If you weren't brought up in the kind of culture that's like, oh, this is this and that is that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if the Americans were getting the Orange Lodge references, but
I do feel the second one was made for a bigger audience, though.
Yeah.
So you do lose that. I mean,
and there's so much nostalgia in the second one, which is, again, all kind of legacy sequels do that, where it's like, member, but sometimes I think there was a bit too much nostalgia and not enough, not thought put into it, but you know what I mean? Like, we could have been progressing the story a bit longer.
I feel with the second one, you were just waiting for Begbie.
Yes.
Because he was kind of like the overarching thing, like hanging over him, like, fuck Begbie. But I was kind of like, how do we get for him to come home and Begbie to start being Begbie?
Totally. And then they kind of sprinkled in enough of the backstory as well of, like, of Begbie when they were younger, of all of them when they were younger and stuff like that. And then there's all the, I suppose with legacy sequels, though, it is the kind of where are they now kind of vibe, do you know what I mean? But I do think the second one kind of lacked as much humour.
Yeah.
Like, but I think, again, in this one, I know we've said it, but the humour is mixed in with the darkness, and that's why it is so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
There's no major set bits for the humour in the first one. It happens more naturally.
Yes. Yeah. Whereas the second one, it's like, and now we're here, and now we're here, and now we're here, and now laugh, and then we'll do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That, and I do think that in the second one, they're acting more.
Yes. Yeah, Johnny Lee Miller's...
Oh, he's not great in it.
He's not good in the second one. But, like, his Edinburgh accent in this one, apart from a couple of lines, his Edinburgh accent's passable.
Oh, it's all right, yeah.
Whereas I feel like in the second one, because it had been 20 years since he'd done an Edinburgh accent, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, you can see him trying to figure it out.
100%. Which is funny because when you watch like Still Gamer stuff and they try and do like Glaswegian Neds, but all the Glaswegian Neds have Edinburgh accents, and it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that difficult, surely.
100%. Another thing that's super iconic about this movie is the soundtrack. But I think it's one of those ones where, like, these songs, not spoiled, but like who's listening to A Perfect Day by Lou Reed and not thinking of Rent and sinking into the ground?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And as soon as Lust for Life comes on, you're running down Princess Street. Do you know what I mean? And like night clubbing? The other Iggy Pop one where he's like, where in the movie it's the montage of like everything that they do to get their heroin hit as like the spoons burning and stuff. Like, there's so many songs. And I mean, come on, when has Born Slippy never not been a tune?
Fucking banger.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the soundtrack is incredible, but I do think, and I don't want to say that it's ruined these, but there are, movies do that though, do you know what I mean? There are certain songs that come on that you're like, oh, I remember this from that movie, do you know what I mean? And I think A Perfect Day is... I mean, I think there are other movies that is also used in, but to me, maybe it's when you see the film is when the song gets imprinted in your brain. But for me, that's the Trainspotting song. Do you know what I mean?
It kind of makes the song like a newer audience, and 100% that's the case.
Absolutely. Even obviously their pattern is firmly rooted in the 90s of like all the references and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
Like when they're talking about like George Best and stuff. Like, I don't know if I'm not showing any of my younger nieces Trainspotting anytime
No.
soon. But I think, like, if I was to show them Trainspotting, I think a lot of Sick Boys Parter would go right over their heads.
Yeah. They would
Because
never have a clue.
they wouldn't have a clue who
Yeah.
Georgie Best is. I don't even know if they would know who Sean Connery is, and that's probably on my
I mean,
fault. Do you know what I mean?
It's not even that. He dead before two of them were born.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, like I think it is like a nice wee time capsule of the 90s. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, especially with their pattern. Also, speaking of time capsules to the 90s, shout out to smoking. Like, so shout out to smoking pre-smoking ban.
Fucking smoking in taxis on the fucking coach to London.
In pubs, wild,
amazing.
wild. Because the smoking ban came into effect before we were allowed to legally drink.
Yeah.
So we've
Well
always
before we could legally drink.
absolutely. So like we've always known smoking outside the pubs. Don't smoke, kids. It's not big. It's
Yeah.
not cool, and it's not clever. But we've always known, like, right, I need to, if I want a cigarette, I need to leave this conversation. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, it is mad when you watch movies from back in the day and they're just lighting up in the pub or like.
That's amazing.
It's when they were smoking in the taxi, and I was like, no way.
I surely fuck not, man.
Aye, into it. And also another thing that is super beautiful, time capsule, 90s drinks prices.
Oh, fuck yeah.
£1.60 for a cocktail. Are you fucking mad? That's about 12 quid now.
Oh, honestly, man, we were born the wrong time.
I swear to God, man. There was another sign where it was like 50 pence for a pint of Tennent's. I was like, sorry, what? Like, see, when I hear people for the 90s being like, aye, we were all skint in the 90s. Where are you
I
fuck?
know, fucking everyone cheap as fuck, you bastards.
Honestly, that's why people aren't drinking as much these days, because it's too expensive. See, if it was
Yeah.
£50 a pint. Maybe that's why we're losing our reputation as like the drinking culture.
I
'cause
can't afford that, that's the thing.
the youth are too skint.
Yeah, 100%.
Have you got any other kind of leaving thoughts before we kind of finish off? Because I know there's like, we could talk more about the London bit and stuff, but that is the kind of tonal shift of the movie.
Yeah.
But I think we've basically covered most of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the only thing, as I said, is that the friendship falls apart as soon as the money comes in.
Yeah, that is the thing though, into it is like, and I never used to like the London bit when I was younger because it is such a tonal shift of the movie, and I think that's also the part where they stop becoming friends.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But now, obviously, as an adult, when you watch it, you're like, oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
but
they were never friends, really.
yeah, and it's just Spud, man, poor wee Spud.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But obviously, then it all kind of comes in Trainspotting 2 of like what they've all done in the last 20 years. Like, yeah, like Mark goes to Amsterdam with the money, sets up a whole new life. Spud spends the money on drugs.
Stays a heroin addict.
Yeah. Sick Boy, he inherits that pub
Yeah.
that he then wants to turn into a brothel. Begbie's in the jail. Do you know what I mean?
Usual.
So like everyone's kind of where you suspected them
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be.
yeah.
But I feel like as well, like, see, in this one, it's only kind of they do like the small fucking each other over through the whole movie until it gets to the end, and then that's like the almighty betrayal.
Yeah.
Whereas in the second one, I feel like they're just, especially with Sick Boy, it's like it's just nasty in it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
he's like, no, fuck this guy. But then, actually, no, I'll save that for A. I've got a wee A
No,
about
no
that,
worries,
but
no
I'll
worries.
save that. Will we dive into Let's Go?
Aye, so what's yours then?
Mine's is Choose Life. Mine, like, the speech is just so funny, and then again when you go into Trainspotting 2 and they explain why they've been doing it,
Yeah.
I just feel like the first 10 minutes of the movie, that's your Let's Go right there. You know what you're in for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's yours?
Mine's the same.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's got, like, as I say, it's one of the best, like, intros to a movie.
I agree.
Like
I
that.
totally agree.
I think after your first viewing of it, it's the most thingy moment.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. What's your favourite scene?
Come on. Fucking, it's a pub scene.
That's what I've got.
It's got to be the pub scene.
Yeah. Yes!
Like, honestly, that sums up Robert Carlyle's like acting for me. Just
Yeah.
that I could watch that on loop for fucking hours.
It is so funny. But what I also love about that scene is like when it's the side bit off to like after he's told his story and throws the
Yeah.
glass, and then Tommy's like, that's absolutely not what
Yeah.
happened at all.
Yeah.
He picked on the specky guy. And if there's ever an introduction to a character, that is the perfect.
Oh, that encapsulates Begbie like forever.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, mine's is Begbie throwing the glass as well, but I did have a special shout out to the first day of the Fringe because I just thought that was
Yeah.
fucking hilarious. So I'll dive into some useless information.
Aye, go for it.
Some of this I've kind of already covered a wee
No,
bit.
that's alright, no worries.
So the whole movie was shot in 7.5 weeks, and due to the low budget, a lot of the scenes had to be done in one take.
Ah, fair enough.
The feces in the worst toilet in Scotland is actually melted chocolate and cereal. That is where I can't believe we didn't speak about that earlier on, but that's another one.
Clatty.
If you think Trainspotting, you're thinking Choose Life or the worst toilet in Scotland.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, you're fucking dancer. Ewan McGregor read books about crack and heroin and spent time in the Carlton recovery group to prepare for the role. He was taught to cook up heroin using glucose powder and even considered taking heroin to better understand the character, but was eventually talked out of it.
Yes.
This is what I don't understand, right? Like, young Ewan McGregor seemed like borderline method, was like ready to go the whole hog, and now he's just like, well, that's me showed up for the day. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, fair enough, man. But I mean, if you're prepared to take heroin for a role, wire in, do you know what I mean?
I mean, yes and no, because if I ever was in a movie playing a heroin act and I said to a director or whatever, I'm going to take heroin for them, and they said, I'm like, I'm not in your fucking movie then.
Yeah.
Like, that was a test, you failed.
Yeah, totally. Kelly MacDonald got the role when production were handing out flyers in Glasgow. Danny Boyle said her plain hairdo and no makeup compared to the other glamorous girls was the correct choice for Diane and picked her immediately. That was her first ever movie.
Nah, fuck off.
Okay. Listen, see, as Diane, she works. It's just the voice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. It was later on what she done.
Yeah. The reason Mother Superior stops being in the movie halfway through is because in the book, he loses his legs due to a bad heroin needle.
Oh.
Which you kind of see in the film where she's like injecting into his groin.
Yeah.
But yeah. When Renton shoots the dog with the BB gun, Boyle got the dog to go crazy by lining the camera up in front of the dog and just screaming swear words at the dog.
Oh, really?
Like, this is when making movies, animal cruelty was heavy fine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Like, the C word is used 18 times in this movie. I mean, that's just a normal podcast episode for us,
love
isn't
the
it?
word, aye. Brilliant word.
Oasis were originally asked to contribute to the soundtrack, but Noel Gallagher declined, thinking the movie was actually about trains. Liam Gallagher says this is one of his favourite movies.
Yeah, that. What a fucking idiot.
100%. The football team at the beginning of the movie is the Carlton Athletic Club, the counsellors of the recovery centre that they were using as references.
Nice.
Like, wait. Johnny Lee Miller is the only non-Scottish person in the cast.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I was talking about earlier on, right? This movie was criticised for glamorising drug use by Senator Bob Dole, although he later admitted years later that he had never actually seen the film.
Sounds about right for them.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Scumbag.
Do you know what I mean? Kevin McKidd is the only cast member not to be in any promotional photos because he was on holiday at the time, leading people to think that he was only a supporting role and not in the main cast.
That's a bit bizarre.
Into it.
Saying that if a cheap movie, you're not going to pounds, I'm not fucking being there.
Yeah, like, you've had 7.5 weeks, you've booked a family holiday, do you know what I mean?
Take your photos.
Because I'm pretty sure they done all the, there was I think it was on Graham Norton or something, there was a story of, like, when they done all the promo, and they were all just rough as fuck from, like, the night before, so they're all like, and this is, I only had one of who was almost in the movie. Christopher Eccleston was originally offered the role as Begbie, but declined due to scheduling conflicts. In the book, Begbie is this tall, intimidating guy, but when Robert Carlyle took it, I think the wee man thing works a lot better.
Oh, yeah, no, fuck that. Christopher Eccleston, no.
Yeah, I know. I can't see it as anybody else, do you know what I mean?
You can't, like, no. Carlyle's perfect for it.
Yeah, I think, fair enough, in the book, Begbie's supposed to be this big, intimidating guy, but I think it works better being the scrawny wee man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's more Scottish of it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, the wee game guy, 100%.
Do you have any
I've got two.
Okay.
Would Tommy turn to heroin so easily? But I've kind of argued it in my head, and I think he would.
I think if you're surrounded by, I think if all of your friends are heroin addicts and they're saying, I mean, they basically say at the start of the movie, like, this is the best orgasm you're ever going to have, blah, blah, blah. And I think that all sounds great, And if all your friends, I don't mean to be like, if your pals were doing it, you'd do it as well. But I mean, to Tommy, they're all kind of functioning, quote unquote. But I think I think it would put you off seeing the rest of what they do. Do you know what I mean? Like they can sit there and be like, this is the greatest thing ever. This is the greatest orgasm ever. Tommy, this is great. That's the thing though, is none of them pressure him to take heroin. None of them push him into it.
Oh no, I know that. But
it's only because Renton is like, I'm not getting you. And then it's only when he gives him money, he's like, right, fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it feels a bit. No, I know they're kind of, they have to make a movie and they kind of dedicate like ages to this. But it just seems a bit like, okay.
Again, though, I do think if you're surrounded by your pals doing it, you're probably not going to think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
But then they do say that about heroin, is like, as soon as you take your first one, it's too late. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's like, that's how addictive it is. But do you know the bit that annoys me about Tommy? Not about Tommy, but about that whole scenario is, see when Mark's clean, when Renton's clean and he goes to see Tommy and Tommy's like the total, the way, the downhill spiral of Tommy immediately, do you know what I mean? Like, Tommy feels like the most fucked of them all, do you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
And Renton shows up clean and Tommy's like sold all his stuff. He's got one Iggy Pop poster left. He's not get his videos, his telly, nothing. And he's like, oh, gonna just lend me money. And Renton's like, okay, even though you know exactly what he's going to use it for, and you know he's already HIV positive, and you know he's already fucked.
Yeah.
You're still like, okay, you're a pal. Do you know what I mean? But then again, I don't know. I don't know how to think of that with yourself. Do you know what I mean? I
feel that they could have maybe went a bit more into it. I assume in the book there's more to it.
Yeah, do you know what? I might get the book on Audible and I'll let you know.
Yeah. And my other one is, we do not need Kelly MacDonald in this. And it's nothing to do with Kelly MacDonald. Yeah. It's more the fact that her character is pointless.
Yeah, again, maybe she's a bigger part in the book. Yeah. I don't know, but I think as well, and again, I don't really know how it was perceived in the 90s, but I think especially watching it in 2026, having a 14-year-old girl go with a 21-year-old guy, and for all she's like, if you don't see me again, I'll phone the police. And it's like, you're 14. You should be phoning the police. Aye. Like, do you know what I mean?
It's a bit bizarre. I mean, I don't even think they were Stratford Times. It's all in on the Hoff movie, but we could have done without that.
Yeah, because even in Trainspotting 2, she's just like the mortgage guy. Like, she works in the bank. Like, there's not... She doesn't have this like big role. They don't get back together or anything like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Have you got any A's?
I've got one.
Okay.
So when they get the 16 grand for the Skag deal featuring Lily Allen's dad, whoop, they only get, so they get 4 grand each.
Yeah.
Right. I was trying to thing it for inflation. I don't really know how much. Going to look that up actually. How much is 4 grand in the 90s?
Aye. So 4 grand in 1996 would cost the equivalent of £8,262 now.
Okay, so they're basically getting 9 grand each, right?
Yeah.
Now, 9 grand is not to be sniffed at. And again, I know we kind of spoke about their friendship and that they're not really pals, and you've all kind of came from the junkie mindset, but I wouldn't sniff at it, but I'm also not willing to fuck everybody over for 9 grand. But then I suppose Renton takes the entire 16. He gives Spud 4, but... But
this is another thing that I've just thought of there as you were talking about it. They need £4,000 to make the deal, right, to buy it after Russian sailors. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Renton puts in half of that.
Aye.
So how the fuck's he only getting 4 grand?
Yeah.
Like, he's entitled to 8.
Yeah. But then that's the thing is, like, see, even when they're like, when they get it and Begbie's like, don't fucking run, and Sick Boy's like, don't run, and then he turns around to Spud and he's like, you game for it? And Spud's like, no, we couldn't possibly, and then Sick Boy's like, why, I would have done it, like, what the fuck? And so I think it is a kind of, we're in a race of who's going to fuck each other over first, right? But also, beautiful thing about the 90s, 16 grand could set you up with a whole new life in Amsterdam. You've got a house, you've got a job, you could just go to Amsterdam with 16 grand and live a good life. Nay danger.
Aye. See, now you've got me thinking about stuff. There's other things now.
Like what?
I mean, he starts taking heroin again.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be pure heroin this time. Yeah.
So he's just not a heroin addict after he takes that again.
Yeah.
Fine.
He's no went through all that withdrawal.
Yeah.
Had 2 hits of heroin and been like, hey, that's me, boys. I'm done.
I've done enough.
I'm done.
Yeah, aye. But that's just movie stuff.
No, but they do that in Trainspotting too as well. Like now the 2 of them take a heroin hit for like the first time in 20 years. And I'm just like, sure, like fair enough. Again, never touched heroin. Don't know what it's about. But surely 1 hit's enough to be like, this is lovely. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
it's got to fuck with you. Like,
100%. But yeah, basically my only A is about inflation in the 90s and how if somebody gave me 16 grand to go and set up a new life in Amsterdam, in this economy, in this day and age, we're getting fucking nowhere.
You're not getting far.
Do you know what I mean? Who's your worst guy whose hairline's receding?
See, I'm kind of torn. Mm-hmm. Because it's either Sick Boy or Renton.
I've got Renton. So you take Sick Boy and I've got Renton.
But Renton doesn't... And that... No, Renton, sorry. Sick Boy. Now, hear me out here.
I'm hearing.
What does Sick Boy do that's terrible in this movie?
Doesn't look after his Wayne.
Right, but... Like, heroin shit, not right, cool. Like, yes, that's horrible. The mum's there and that as well. They're both fucking out.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have had a fucking kid.
Yeah.
But Renton... I'll go with Sick Boy, make it easier, but I've got a lot of feelings towards how Renton's a cunt, but also Sick Boy does the worst thing in this movie.
Yeah, totally. But I think Sick Boy becomes worse in the second one. Like, but I think in this one, Renton, he kind of orchestrates everything. He gets everybody into these situations and yet manages to go off scot-free every time.
Yeah.
And like, he never really takes accountability. Like, even in the second one, when they go to the healings to put down flowers for Tommy, and Sick Boy turns around to him and is like, well, this one's on you. And instead of being like, I know, fair enough, he immediately turns around and goes, well, what about Dawn? She would have been a woman now, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very that. Like, I think in this one, like, Renton is... It's like you said earlier on, though, like, he has a really higher than thou approach to being a heroin addict. Like, he doesn't see himself as like a dole scum or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, he thinks he's doing the dance of working the system. Do you know what I mean? But I think he gets everybody in these scrapes, but he always gets off scot-free.
Yeah. No,
like,
I get you.
Spud gets sent to prison. Tommy dies. Do you know what I mean? And he just kind of goes through the whole movie and goes, oh well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I've got you.
Like, your actions caused the death of one of your best friends. And I don't know though, maybe it's that kind of thing that like you've done that much fucked up shit. Is that the kind of thing of like when you do start taking accountability for that, you're like, oh my god, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
there's only so much you can like pack that down.
Yeah. Totally. But no, you take Sick Boy and I'll take Renton.
Yeah, that's fair.
I do think Sick Boy is an arsehole, but I think he is worse in the second one.
Yeah.
Plus as well, I feel like Sick Boy in this one is easily forgiven because he's stunning. Do you know what I mean?
He also essentially a baby killer.
Yeah. No,
else.
horrendous patter, man. Horrendous. Have you got anybody for who's in a different movie?
Begbie, isn't it?
What do you mean?
They're all mad fucking smackheads and he's a fucking psychopath.
Right, okay, right.
Of course he's in a different movie.
I get you. I was like, wait a minute, we've just sat saying how great Begbie is or something. Right, I get
he's
you.
fucking phenomenal, but as characters go in that, yes, he is acting in a different movie.
Yeah, okay, right. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Who have you got?
I don't have anybody. I thought everybody in this is like perfectly cast.
Oh no, perfectly cast, but heroin addict, psychopath, fucking glasser, slasher.
I don't have any I'm outs.
Technically London, but I get why they put it in the movie, but it's the Kelly MacDonald stuff.
Right, fair enough. I'm the same as you. Like, when I was younger, the London stuff used to really annoy me.
Yeah.
And because it is a total tonal shift of the movie.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And I think because it's like, oh no, like,
yeah.
Whereas like when they're all back in Glasgow being wee junkies and all just being pals, you're like, oh, what they like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I think when we watched it just there, you need London, because I think as well, see if Begbie doesn't come down and Sick Boy doesn't come down and wind Renton up so much, I don't think he's as fast to steal the money and run. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he would rather have just been left alone. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think if they hadn't have came down and he just set himself up in London, it would be fair play.
Yeah.
But they've came down, pushed him too far, spent all his money, sold his fucking telly, and he's like, fuck you guys. Do you know what I mean?
I've had enough.
Yeah, totally. We don't really have any 0 out of 10s this week. We've been okay for...
No, we've not watched it in shite.
No. But we just rant about the mummy again. Fucking Lee Cronin.
Other than the football, there's been nothing shite.
Yeah. 100%. As we record this, and we're Scotland top, still trying to hold on.
100%.
Well, guys, this has been our Trainspotting episode. Thank you so much. That's us. No more Scotland slander. Well, I was going to say no more Gerard Butler slander, but that's never fucking happening.
That's always going to happen.
Do you know what I mean? We will need to just do 300 one week. And
fuck no.
I'll phone Jerry, see when he's next in Paisley, right? Do you want to come up? Anyway, Trips, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye!
Bye!
It's shite being Scottish for the lowest in the world.